Good morning. Welcome back to Ministry Monday. I'm Carlton Kuhn, and I realize that I look a little yellow today. My lighting has kind of gone away for the day, but that's okay. I'm here, and you can hear my voice and see me, and I don't have some dread disease. I have a new book out, and one person who shares this post with their friends will receive a copy of my newest book. The name of it is God's Men, Distinctly Different. It's actually the first in a series that will be about God's men, all Christian men, not just preachers. And this particular one is distinctly different. It's being well reviewed, well received. There is a leader's manual that has just been finished for it as well. If you would be interested in teaching a group of men, I want to go back now. We're going to talk about leadership as influence. And one of the grave errors of a lot of people who end up in shepherd leadership is that they come at it as though they have the right to control what people do. You can teach people, you can coach them, you can exhort, you can influence them, you can direct them, but none of those is a synonym for the word control. One of the 5 styles of leadership is commonly known as the command and control style. Of course, that comes from a military background, but within the work of a church, and this is also true within the work of a corporation, the idea of command and control is counter-effective to the work. There are several reasons. And there is a great blog post. Dean and Linda Anderson have a website, the Change Leaders Network, that is worthy of taking a look at it sometime. There are several reasons that this idea of command and control doesn't work. Number one is it limits the engagement and the commitment that your people are going to have for the church to go forward. You cannot command commitment. The second is that domineering, controlling leadership actually promotes resistance. Now, people may be sitting down on the inside because you commanded it, or they may be sitting down on the outside because you commanded it, but inside they're still standing up. The third thing is it reduces the chance of creating lasting change. Think of the Soviet Union's control of Berlin. Did the communist control of Berlin, which lasted for a full generation, did it produce any lasting change? Virtually none. Why? Because they were doing what they did on the basis of control. The fourth thing is that this will keep a ministry leader from being flexible. And flexibility in leadership is important because everything that you do is not going to go right. None of us as leaders get to go to the mountain and come back with tablets of stone that are simply going to direct the future without there being any adjustment. Now, if you approach your leadership and dealing with your people as though you are some King Tut who can simply direct, and you have a perspective that has come straight from the mouth of God, there is no allowance for flexibility. There's no allowance for adjustment. There's no allowance for experimentation in things that might work in moving your group of people forward. And then finally, this style of leadership, command and control, it minimizes a pastor's attention to the people aspect of what we're involved in. We ignore emotions. We ignore the reality that people have to have constant communication. Jesus was simply not a control and command leader. Instead, Jesus was what he wanted us to be. He was a shepherd. People who influence, who seek to broadly understand rather than hearing one perspective and then raising the rod as though they were Moses to lead into the future, even though it's a wrong direction. Those people who influence rather than control are going to affect the future in people's lives. Those of us who are attempting to influence We're not afraid of people questioning our decisions and wanting clarity as to what the objective is or what the Word of God has to say about a particular topic. So, in essence today, do it. Let God do it because I said do it. It won't work with intelligent people. And if you are working with intelligent people and you're using that approach, and you say, well, let's work with them. They've got all kind of degrees and they have a high IQ and all of that. The deal is they've checked their brain out. They put it in the closet somewhere, and you're not getting the best of what they could be. So I encourage you today to think about your leadership style. If all you've ever seen is command and control, go back and relearn the way Jesus influenced people and apply those concepts in what is often totally turned around from the idea of command and control. I apologize for taking a bit longer today. This is an important topic. Look forward to seeing you next week. God bless.